Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Krishna Kamvitam. Everybody. Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tata Kancana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpa Sarugyascha Kripa Sindhya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachaskate Satsarine. Everybody raise your hands. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura. Very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so very much for being with such a great number here in Gauradesh. First of all, I thought from Prabhu that on Monday there will not be many devotees. It will be on Sunday, it will be big numbers. On Monday, it will be slow, but it's quite nice. Quite many devotees assembled here. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Is it loud? Yes. I think I can be a little bit louder. I became a little sick yesterday evening, but that's all purification for Nityananda Prabhu's merciful appearance day today. Actually, the topics that we discuss related to going Thai are very, very confidential. And it's very, very difficult for a fallen conditioned soul like myself to properly glorify such exalted personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. In fact, a few months ago, one Indian man visited Gauradesh Dham, and I guided him around in the temple, and then we came before Radha Gopinath and Lalita Vishaka. I showed Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and he was very happy. He said, very nice. Very, very nice. And then as we went to Gonitai, I said, this is Lord Chaitanya? He said, who? Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. No, I've never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I said, well, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the combined form of Radha and Krishna. And he said, no. He disagreed with me. So, many people in the world know about Krishna and Radha. Not so many know about Lord Chaitanya. What to speak of Lord Nityananda? He is practically unknown. In fact, there was a very beautiful story of a great sadhu with the name Minaketan Ramdas. Minaketan Ramdas, he was a disciple of Nityananda Prabhu at the time of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Who is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? He is the writer, the compiler of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, there are 3 famous books on the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are called the Chaitanya Mangala, which is very poetic and full of rasa. Then you have the Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, which is more narrative stories. And then we have the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, which is more tattvic, more philosophical. So which of the three books did Srila Prabhupada translate and comment upon? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because we will get there. Because Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the 4th canto in one of the purports that before understanding the sweetness of the Lord, we have to understand the greatness of the Lord. First we have to understand Aishvarya, and then we can understand Madhurya. So first Tattva, and then Rasa. So we will get to Tattva in a little while. So this Minaketana Ramdas was a very confidential disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. And as Nityananda Prabhu is a madman, transcendental madman, an avduta, also his disciple Nityananda Ramdas was also a transcendental madman. And he appeared in the village where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living. And he was dressed not so much as a sadhu, but more like a gopa, a cowherd boy. It appears like he just came from Goloka Vrindavan as a cowherd boy, and he entered the village of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he joined in a kirtan night. There was a kirtan for the whole night. And this Minaketana Ramdas, he was so ecstatic that he was constantly dancing and chanting. And when the ecstasy was growing in his heart, then instead of chanting Hare Krishna, he chanted Nityananda. Everybody was, wow, amazed by his powerful voice and this strong glorification of Nityananda Ram. The whole night he was now and then chanting the names of Nityananda. And there was a pujari in the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. His name was Gunarnava Vipra. And this Gunarnava Vipra, he did not pay any attention to Ram Ketan. Minaketana Ramdas. He completely ignored him. And now Minaketana Ramdas, he said very loudly, oh, he's like Romaharsham Sutta who didn't pay respect to Balaram when Balaram came in Naimisharanya. And Balaram killed Romaharsham Sutta. So he was already indicating that if you do not like the glorification of Nityananda, then it's like not paying respect to Lord Balaram. So later in the evening, there was a discussion also with the younger brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. His name was Shamdas. And this Shamdas, he was arguing with Minaketana Ramdas that I have full faith in Lord Chaitanya, but I do not accept Nityananda. And there was a heated argument between the younger brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Minaketana Ramdas. And at the end of the argument, Minaketana Ramdas, he felt so offended that his Guru Maharaj, Nityananda Ram, was not accepted, that he broke his flute and he left the house. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he felt very, very troubled in heart that this honorable guest, Minaketana Ramdas, was offended in his own house. And he argued with his younger brother, Shamdas, but he could not win the argument. And in this way, he went to sleep. And in his dream, Nityananda Prabhu, he appeared in a beautiful form with a blue dhoti, very long arms, beautiful lotus eyes. And he spoke to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and he said, I'm so pleased that you defended me, that now when you wake up, you immediately go to Vrindavan, and there you will have all your desires fulfilled. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he woke up, he didn't say anything to anyone, he didn't take anything, he He just left and he walked to Vrindavan, 2,000-3,000 kilometers. And there he resided in Vrindavan practically for the rest of his life, hearing the glories of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda from the mouth of Raghunath Goswami. So the story that I was telling indicates that if we do not accept Lord Nityananda Prabhu, we can also not develop faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, it is said that this younger brother Shyamdas, he immediately fell down from his spiritual practice and became a materialist. So we have to be very careful in accepting Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and with a lot of enthusiasm we have to try to worship Nityananda Prabhu. Now, as I was saying, before getting into rasa, and today we don't have much time because I was supposed to stop at 6 o'clock, which is in 8 minutes. Little problem we have. So probably it will be a little bit longer, but if you want to really go deep, as Umkeshwar Prabhu was saying, then you have to spend a few hours in diving deep into the ocean of Lord Nityananda's rasa and tattva. So therefore, although we see so many nice mangoes hanging there, we first have to understand what is tattva. And yesterday we were saying that in this age of Kali, Krishna does not come alone. He's coming with the Pancha Tattva. So Tattva means truth. When His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was in Gauradesh last year, he gave a seminar on rasa. And the conclusion of his seminar was, maybe if you are into mathematics, he gave us a formula to get to the level of tasting rasa. What does it mean, rasa? What is the definition of rasa? Taste, mellow. Like yesterday we were talking about the ice cream and the tongue. So the touch between the tongue and the ice cream, this is called matil rasa. You taste something. But if you want to taste spiritual rasa, then you have to follow a certain formula. I will tell you the formula. You want to know how to get to the point of rasa?
Yes.
Only three devotees. Enthusiasm is so essential in spiritual life. Do you know that? Utsahan is the basic principle of spiritual life, is to grow spiritually with a lot of enthusiasm. And it is said that if you boil down enthusiasm, you get into the mood of eagerness. Eagerness. And if you boil down the eagerness, you come to greed. Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Lapyate Tatra Lolyam Apimoyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukritina Lapyate. This is from Rupa Goswami's Padyavali. This is actually the verse where Srila Prabhupada took the word Krishna consciousness from. International Society from Krishna consciousness. So this is from Krishna Bhakti Ras, again the word rasa. Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavita Mati. If you want to taste Krishna Bhakti Ras, the mellow of devotional service, what do you have to do? Kriyatam yadi kuto pilapyate. If you find this Krishna Bhakti, this mellow, this rasa, if you find it anywhere on the market, you have a market here in Köln, in Köln, yes? So if you go there to the market of Köln with Harinam, for example, and then you suddenly see a stand, a market stand, and it's mentioned Krishna Bhakti. You think, wow, Krishna Bhakti. Priyatam Yadikuto. Yadikuto means anywhere that you find this rasa, this bhakti, you have to try to purchase it. You have some money on you, on your pocket, go to this market and you say, I want to buy the Bhakti. And they say, no, that's not for sale. And then you say, okay, then I will borrow it from you. You say, no, I'm not going to borrow it. Then I will beg from you. And then the market seller is saying, no, I will not accept any begging either. And then you think, then I will steal it. This is eagerness to get this rasa of devotion for God. It's such a rare gift. Janma koti sukritena lapyate. Even after thousands and millions of lifetimes cultivating pious life, pious credits, even then you cannot get it. So you want to know how to get rasa? One way is to develop greed for it, to become really deeply attached to getting it. But Keshava Maharaj was explaining that the formula of tasting rasa is, remember, okay? Tattva plus sadachar plus seva plus tirtha plus vairagya. If you mix those 5, you get rasa. So first of all, tattva. We have to understand the absolute truth correctly. Then when you know the absolute truth, it's explained in Bhagavad Gita, etam vibhutim yogam sya mama yo veti tattvataha. Mama yo veti tattvataha. If you know my opulences in truth, then what will you do? Sa vikalpena yogena. You will automatically, undoubtedly, you will start engaging in devotional service. Why? Because if you understand tattva, then the more you understand tattva, the bigger Krishna becomes. If you understand how great is Krishna, then automatically Krishna in your own mind, in your own perception, Krishna will grow and grow and grow and grow. And automatically when you understand his greatness, your hands will do like this. Oh, Krishna is so wonderfully great. And the second thing that happens when you understand the greatness of God, then what happens with yourself? You will shrink. So you will become very small. God will become very, very big if you understand his greatness. So that is tattva. When you have tattva, you will automatically cultivate sadachar. What means sadachar? Achar means behavior. What kind of a behavior? Sat behavior, eternal behavior, behavior of the soul. All the good qualities are there in the soul, automatically. Therefore we don't have to add anything, we only have to get rid of our conditioning and all our beautiful qualities come. So first tattva, you will shrink, God will expand, then you will automatically become humble, have the right attitude. Then you come to the level of seva, engage in devotional service. He is great, I'm small, I have humility in my heart. Automatically you want to engage in seva. Then tirtha. Tirtha means bridge. The bridge between the material and the spiritual world. Tirtha can mean accepting a spiritual master, like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. That Maharaj who brings us from the material to the spiritual world via the process of bhakti. That's the meaning of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So Tirtha also means holy place. We're going to visit the Tirtha, a holy place. A bridge from the material to the spiritual world. So tattva plus good behavior plus devotional service plus surrendering to a spiritual master or visiting a holy place. Plus, the fifth one is a little bit more difficult for all of us. Vairagya, detachment from the material world. So the formula for rasa starts with tattva. And therefore, before going into deep rasas, Srila Prabhupada is warning us. Don't get into deep rasas before you understand tattva. And that is the reason why Srila Prabhupada chose the Chaitanya Charitamrita as the book about Lord Chaitanya to translate and comment upon. Because the Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of tattva. In fact, when I heard about the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that it's the postgraduate study after Bhagavatam, after Bhagavad Gita, after Nectar of Devotion, when you're really advanced, you can go to the Leelas of Lord Chaitanya in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I opened the Chaitanya Charitamrita after a few years, and the first 10, 12 chapters, only philosophy, full of philosophy. So Srila Prabhupada, he wanted to translate the Chaitanya Charitamrita because of that reason. Now let's try to understand who is Lord Nityananda. First of all, the word Nityananda is already so wonderful because Nitya, Ananda, Ananda means blissful, and Nitya is always. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he is always blissful. And we will later on see why he is so blissful. But let's first try to understand a little bit who is Lord Nityananda. First of all, it's a bit small, but you can see it. He is no different from Lord Balaram. Balaram, Hoile, Nitai. Lord Balaram is always there where Krishna is. If you read the Krishna book, wherever there is Krishna, there is Balaram. So Balaram and Krishna are always together. But there is a little difference between Balaram and Nityananda. Balaram, when he is upset, he very easily kills. Like we could see that in the story of Ramaharshan Sutta. What was the mistake of Ramaharshan Sutta? He was sitting like me on the Vyasasana, speaking to an assembly of great sages. Balaram appeared. All the sages stood up, paid obeisances, except for Ramaharshan Sutta, because he was thinking, I am on the seat of Vyasadeva, so I will not bow down. And Balaram, he took a piece of kusha grass and he severed the head from the body of Ramaharshan Sutta. That's quite a temperament, no? Hare Krishna. Who else did he kill? He killed Dvivida. He killed who did he kill? Pralambasura, Dhenukasura. So he killed quite a few demons in the pastimes with Krishna. But Nityananda very much differs from Lord Balaram in the sense that even the greatest demons, like Jagai and Madai, he doesn't kill them. He gives them pure love of Krishna. He gives them that high rasa that we were talking about immediately, without accepting any offense. So Lord Nityananda is more and more merciful than Balaram. Nityananda Prabhu is always in the mood of service. He never ever poses himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the first expansion of Krishna. Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna. Nityananda is no different from Balaram. But even, now think about this, even the first expansion of the Lord, who is practically no different from the Lord, that first expansion sees himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So what to speak of us, right? But we want to be God. We are so unfortunate. Then, he's the personification of chant and be happy. This was a quote from Indradumna Maharaj. He said, Nityananda Prabhu is the personification of chant and be happy. And not only chant and be happy, but also take prasadam. Nityananda Prabhu, he loved prasadam. And when I use the word prasadam, I can see already everybody, oh yes, prasadam. What would we be without prasadam in the Krishna consciousness movement, right? How many of you would come when there is no prasadam? In many, many preaching centers, in cities, like I have experience in Antwerp and in Brussels. You start the class, you have 3-4 devotees or guests. Then when the kirtan starts, you have maybe 10. And then when you start serving prasadam, suddenly 80, 90 guests are there, sitting all waiting for the prasadam. Wow! Nityananda Prabhu, he loved prasadam, just like you and me. Very fond of prasadam. In fact, when they were enjoying Jagannath prasadam, and Jagannananda Pandit was cooking, he was a very good cook. He's no different from Satyabhama in the spiritual world. And then always Nityananda Prabhu asked for more. Can I have more? Can I have more prasadam? And he should also get more. And that was Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, I'm a sannyasi, I have to be a little bit, restricted, because he got already criticized. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got criticized by different devotees, that you eat too much, you're a sannyasi, don't fall down. And Nityananda Prabhu was always saying, no, take more prasadam, give him more, and give me also more. That was Nityananda Prabhu's mood. Chant, dance, and take prasadam. Is that a difficult process in Kali Yuga? You think it's difficult to chant and dance and take prasadam? No? Nobody enthusiastic? No? You like dancing, chanting, taking prasadam? Yes. Srila Prabhupada, he mentioned that this Krishna consciousness movement is all about recreation. It's nothing about tapasya. Aradito yadi haris tapasatatakim, naradito yadi haris tapasatatakim, nanto bahir yadi haris tapasatatakim, nanto bahir yadi haris tapasatatakim. From the Vedas, it's a very nice verse that Srila Prabhupada only quoted 2 or 3 times. And he says, very interesting, he says, Aradito yadi haris tapasatatakim, that if you are already worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what is the use of tapasya? You're already there. You're worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chant, dance, take prasadam. Why you should do any other tapasya than that? Okay, fast one morning for Lord Nityananda. One morning till 12 o'clock. I could see in this temple that it was really 12 and not 1 minute later than 12 o'clock, Fasting till noon. Okay, at noontime you will take prasadam. Right? Very eager for the prasadam. And big plates, I can see. So, Aradito yadi haris tapasatatakim. If you know the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Lord and you worship Him, what's the use of austerity? But then it said, Naradito yadi haris tapasatatakim. If you do not know, and if you do not worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is the use of executing austerities? It's useless. If it doesn't lead you to worshipping the Supreme Lord, why should you engage in austerities? Amto bahir yadi haris tapasatatakim. And if you know that the Lord is in your heart and is also outside your heart, what's the use of engaging in austerities? And if you not know that the Lord is in your heart and also outside your heart, then what's the use of austerity? So we don't have to perform austerities, we have to chant, we have to dance, and we have to take prasadam. So Lord Nityananda, he is the personification of chant and be happy. And that's why he's also a complete transcendental madman. Haridas Thakur was really having a hard time together with Nityananda Prabhu going on Sankirtan. I had some experiences on Sankirtan with devotees that gave me a hard time. But Haridas Thakur, when he was traveling with Nityananda Prabhu, it was embarrassing sometimes. Because when Lord Nityananda Prabhu would get into a transcendental ecstasy, he could do anything that nobody else would ever do. Like jumping into the Jamuna or in the Ganges and start wrestling with crocodiles. And Haridas Thakur was shouting, Nityananda, come back, it's dangerous! And Nityananda was just embracing the crocodiles, wrestling with them in a complete ecstasy. Or sometimes they would knock on doors and the door would open and then there was a girl and he said, oh, would you like to marry me? And Haridas Thakur said, what are you saying? We're distributing the holy name of the Lord, and you want to marry these girls? And Nityananda was already gone, and then the father of the girl came outside and saw Haridas Thakur and started to chastise Haridas for asking his daughter in marriage. So Nityananda Prabhu was not the most easy person to deal with, but he was a complete, transcendental, ecstatic madman. You want to become a madman also? Because it is mentioned in a very beautiful verse in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the process of chanting. Do you want to know what happens when you chant the holy names of the Lord? You want to know what happens? It's explained in the 11th canto, but it's tricky. It starts with Evam Brataha Swapriya Nama Kirtya. Evam Brataha. What means Brata? A Brata? A vow. A very strong commitment. Evam Brataha Swapriya Nama Kirtya. Beautiful, no? Swapriya, the names that you choose as the most beautiful name of the Lord. So we have a very beautiful mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is mentioned in the 11th canto that everything starts with commitment and with a vow. Everybody in this room who took initiation vowed to chant 16 rounds of japa of this Maha Mantra. It takes 2 hours. Evam Brataha Swapriya Nama Kirtya. Now, of course, just making a vow will not bring you back to Godhead. For example, how many of you are married? Don't be shy. I'm also married. It's not a bad thing to be married. So how many of you are married longer than 10 years? 20 years? Yes? More than 30 years? So, okay, let's say you were married more than 30 years and somebody goes to you and say, why are you married to this woman for 30 years? And then you answer, oh, 30 years ago I make a vow that I stay with this lady for 30 years, so I made a vow. How would you feel as a lady? Is it a nice answer? Is it a good answer? No? Why? There is no love. Where is the love? You should say, because I love her so dearly, that's why I stay with her for 30 years. She's my everything. No, I made a commitment 30 years ago. I stick to my vow. That's not so romantic. You're not going back home, back to Godhead because you made a vow. You go back to Godhead because you love Krishna. You got that point? Yes. So please practice it with your wife and your husband, okay? Don't make this mistake. So Evam Brataha, it starts with vow, Swapriya Nama Kirtya. And then what happens? Jita Anuraga, that's the second stage. Jita means something takes birth. Anuraga, attachment. You start to become attached to the holy name of the Lord. You don't do it because you vowed it. You chant the holy name because you like it. Jata Anuraga. And when you come to the stage of developing attachment for chanting the holy names of the Lord, then Druta Chitta Uchai. Chitta means your heart or your consciousness, and Druta means it melts. Your consciousness starts to melt. Your heart starts to melt. Your heart starts to become butter-like. And we know Krishna is called Makan Chora. He is the butter thief. So if your heart is like butter, Krishna will come and steals your heart. That's why he's Makan Chora. So, if your consciousness melts through the Chitta Uchai, Then what happens? Hasatyato rodita rauti gayati unmadavandrityati lokabaya. Well, that's a mouthful of Sanskrit, no? Hasati ato roditi rauti gayati. You start to cry, you start to laugh, you start to dance, and you start to become completely oblivious of your surroundings. So who is the personification of such a madman? Nityananda. So this is the very dangerous path of chanting the holy names of the Lord, because if you start with Brata, you end, before you know it, you end on the streets of Cologne, dancing and chanting in ecstasy, completely aloof from what's happening around you. I remember when I joined the temple in Amsterdam, the first day I was a guest, and 3 hours later I was chanting and dancing in ecstasy on the streets of Amsterdam. And a few months later, while I was dancing in ecstasy on the street, my sister happened to be there, and she saw me from a distance, and she was thinking, my brother became a madman. And I didn't even see her. That is the dangerous process of following in the footsteps of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He is also Samasti Guru. Samasti Guru means the sum total of all gurus. The sum total of all Vyasti Gurus, all the individual gurus. There are 4 kinds of gurus. You have Checha Guru. Checha Guru is the guru in your heart as the Paramatma. So is Lord Nityananda the Paramatma in the heart? Oh, definitely. Because Nityananda is Balaram. And Balaram is expanding into the Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha is expanding into Narayan. Narayan is expanding in the secondary Chaturvyuha. Secondary Chaturvyuha, Sankarshan, is expanding in Mahavishnu, in Garbhodakasaya Vishnu, in Ksirodakasaya Vishnu. And the plenary portion of Ksirodakasaya Vishnu is Paramatma, and Paramatma is in everyone's heart. So he is the Checha Guru, Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda is everything. What is he not? So why not accept the Checha Guru as our Guru? Why not? So many people ask sometimes, why do you need a physical Guru? Or Guru is in my heart. Chitasya prasanta, what is that verse? Chitatmana prasantasya paramatma samahita. Yes, Paramatma is the Guru in our heart, but who is qualified? Who is qualified to accept the Paramatma in the heart as Guru? Jita Atmana Prasantasya. So let's see if you have that qualification. Jitatmana means, Jita means you conquer, and Atmana means your mind and your senses. So how many of you are capable of all the time conquering your mind and your senses? Please raise your hands. You wanted to do it. Nobody, huh? And even if you can control your mind and your senses, the second qualification is prasantatma, fully peaceful all the time. Shitoshna sukha dukkeshu, be completely equipoised in happiness and distress, in heat and cold, in honor and dishonor. If you can do this, then you can accept the super soul in your heart. But we cannot. Therefore we need other gurus. And there are 3 types of other gurus. Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Pata Pradashika Guru. Pata Pradashika Guru is that person who for the first time in your life introduced you to the process of Krishna consciousness. Do you remember who that is? Can you meditate on that person and thank him with all your heart? Hare Krishna. Pata, the path. Pradarshika, showing the path. I know who it is, and I'm so grateful that he showed me the path. And all glories to our Diksha Gurus, all glories to our Shiksha Gurus. And our main Shiksha Guru is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Nityananda Prabhu is the sum total of all Gurus. He is the giver of the holy name. There is a beautiful verse in glorification of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Can we try to learn it by heart? Are you good in memory? So the first line is Nityananda Maham Naomi. Can you say? Nityananda Maham Naomi. Again, Nityananda Maham Naomi. I offer my respectful obeisance to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Maham Naomi. Sarva Ananda Karam Param. Sarva Ananda Karam Param. What does that mean? Sarva Ananda, all bliss. Karam, cause. Param, he is the transcendental cause of all our spiritual happiness. Sarvananda Karam Param. Harinama Pradam Devam. Here it is. He is the giver of the holy name. Harinama Pradam Devam. Harinama Pradam Devam. Harinama Pradam Devam. And then the fourth one is what you become when you take the holy name. Avadutam Siromanim. Avadutam Siromanim. One more time. Avadutam Siromanim. You have heard of Yamadutas, you have heard of Vishnudutas, but have you heard of Avadutas? Avaduta is somebody who's completely in the outside category, He doesn't belong to any category. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also in that outside category. And when Lord Nityananda Prabhu, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just took sannyas, and he received the danda as his only possession, and when he traveled to Jagannath Puri, then he gave this danda to carry to Jagannananda Pandit. And Jagannananda Pandit, he wanted to beg to supply some foodstuffs to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said to Lord Nityananda, can you take care of the danda so that I can do some begging? And Nityananda Prabhu, he says, oh yes, I will take care of the danda very nicely. And then Jagannananda Pandit, he left for begging. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking bath in the holy river. And when Nityananda Prabhu got this danda, he broke it in 3 pieces and threw it in the Ganga. Wow. That is called Avaduta. He's completely mad. But of course, there is a very good reason why he broke the danda. Because the danda belongs to which ashram? Sannyas ashram. Sannyas ashram is part of what system? It's called the Varnashram Dharma. So Nityananda Prabhu was thinking, why should Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu follow all the rules and regulations of a material system called Varnashram Dharma when he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Naham vipro na chenarpati na pivaishu na sudro. Naham varni na chakriyapati na vanashto yatyava. We are not a Brahmana, we are not a Kshatriya, we are not a Vaishya, we are not a Sudra, we are not a Sannyasi, we are not a Grihastha. No, we are not Grihasthas. So what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he immediately broke the danda and threw it in the Ganges. Because he is an Avaduta. He's also the most merciful personality. Not only to the most fallen, but do you know that our whole Sampradaya is based on the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? Who wrote about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Vrindavan Das Thakur, he was a disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu that he went to Vrindavan and could hear about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes from Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, when Raghunath Das Goswami was a very, very, very rich boy, because his parents were extremely rich, when he went for the first time to, what is the place? Panihati. Lord Nityananda Prabhu was there. Raghunath Das Goswami, he paid his obeisance from a distance to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And when Lord Nityananda Prabhu heard from one of his associates, there is Raghunath paying obeisance from the distance, then he immediately shouted, "Oh Raghunath, please come here. You are a thief. I have to punish you. You are stealing mercy from a distance. Come here." So Raghunath Das Goswami, he came, he bowed down, and Nityananda Prabhu put his foot on the head of Raghunath Das Goswami. And what happened? Raghunath Das Goswami could escape from his materialistic life, and he became the personal servant of the secretary, Swarup Damodar Goswami, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, both of them received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Because when they were Dabir Kash and Sakai Malik, Muslim servants of Hussain Shah, the big Muslim ruler, they were writing letters to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again. And what did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He did nothing. They wrote so many letters to Lord Chaitanya, "Please rescue us, please rescue us." And Lord Chaitanya, he didn't reply. He only replied once, in a very brief sentence. He said, if a wife is in love with a man who is not her husband, then she should do the household duties perfectly and at the same time remember her lover. That is what he wrote to Sanatana and Rupa. And they were begging to become liberated from this materialistic life. But they understood when they received this message, so when we love Krishna, like a secret lover, we have to engage in our duties very nicely till the moment that we get liberated. But they didn't receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then one day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, they came to Ramkeli, where Rupa and Sanatana was staying. And when they wanted to pay obeisance to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first person they met was Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And it was Lord Nityananda who introduced Rupa and Sanatana to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yesterday we spoke about Narottam Das Thakur, who also received the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So yes, Lord Nityananda is the most merciful personality that you can ever imagine. So this is what I was explaining. He is so important for our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. He is the ultimate preacher, because on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was knocking on every door, in each and every door. So can you imagine that somebody knocks on your door, and then you have the origin of all gurus, which is Balaram, and you have Haridas Thakur, who is no different from Lord Brahma, who is the Adi Guru of the Brahma Matva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So you have the Adi Guru, you have the original Guru, and they are both standing in front of your door. You open the door, they pay obeisance to you, and they say, "Can you please, please, please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." And if you would say, "Can you please get lost?" How unfortunate are you when you sent away Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, Lord Brahma and Balaram, when they begged you to please chant the holy names of Krishna. And what did they do when you didn't want? They would go flat on the floor, pay dandavats, and beg you to please chant the holy names. So they are the ultimate preachers. And do you know that Lord Nityananda is the maintainer of all the Vaikuntha worlds? Everything that exists in the spiritual world is an expansion of Lord Balaram, and no different from Nityananda. And that he is also the creator of this material cosmic manifestation. Are you aware that Lord Nityananda is not just an Avaduta who appeared 500 years ago, but that he is the source of the material creation? Amazing, no? Whatever we touch is the energy of Lord Balaram. especially the mridanga, especially everything that we use in the temple in the service of Krishna. It's all an expansion of Balaram. When I was a new bhakta, there were a few cushions lying so in the middle of the temple room, and with my foot I pushed the cushions to the side. And then the temple president chastised me. He said, "Don't kick Balaram with your feet." And since then, every time when I have to pick up something in the temple, I will never ever touch it with my foot, because it's an expansion of Balaram. And last but not least, out of the three potency Shaktis, Ladini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, and Sandini Shakti, Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda, the Sandini Shakti means whatever exists is an expansion of Lord Nityananda. So this is Tattva. I didn't come to the stage of Rasa, I'm so sorry, maybe we mixed a little bit of Rasa in the Tattva. But if we do not understand this, then we can talk for hours about the beautiful childhood pastimes of Nitai in Ekachakragram and how he appeared and what he did and how he enacted so many beautiful pastimes about Vamana Dev and Nrsimha Dev and Krishna's pastimes and Ram pastimes. But if we do not understand this, then it will be just sentimental stories and very nice, and next moment we start to do nonsense again. So first of all, we have to understand that Lord Nityananda, as the Paramatma, is in our own heart. And that he is inside us, he's outside us, that he is our Guru. He is the original Guru. And we have to follow in his footsteps by chanting the holy names of the Lord very nicely and attentively. And then when we have chanted nicely and attentively and we have developed some taste, then we have to follow in his footsteps and become gurus ourselves. That's a strange instruction, no, at the end of the class, to become guru yourself. It feels a bit, how does that feel for you? Yaredeka tareka Krishna upades, amara agyaya guruhana taredes. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted us to become gurus. Don't be shy. Show the path of Krishna consciousness to others. Follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And in this way, we become very, very dear to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Not just by chanting for ourselves, but also by distributing it to others. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityananda Rama ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. I have 69 slides. And I showed one. Hare Krishna. This is the glory of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. We can only scratch the surface of the ocean of the love of Godhead that Lord Nityananda Prabhu was experiencing. So there is a lot more to say, but we will leave it at this. I am very, very grateful that I could say a few words in the glory of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And last but not least, one of the main reasons why I accepted the invitation of Umgebung Prabhu was, how many of you know Kadambakana Maharaj? Yes, most of you know His Holiness Kadambakana Maharaj. So when he was about to leave his body, when he was in Gauradesh for the last time, then he sent me a list of to-dos. He said, when I'm not anymore here, then, and then he had a whole list, this, university preaching, this, that, so many things. And one thing on the list was, you will be, I don't know if you will be happy to hear it, but that was his instruction. You have to make sure that Radhadesh and Gauradesh bond more. So when I got the invitation, and I was thinking, oh, a few years ago Maharaj asked me to do this. It's still on my bucket list, and now I can finally, make a first step in, of course many of you come to Gauradesh and we have seen each other in Gauradesh. But it's my first time here, and you're all very enthusiastic devotees, very sincere. I was amazed when I was in my room working for my company today. I've suddenly heard a roar in Kirtan and everybody almost jumped from my chair. So thank you so very much for being so enthusiastic in the service of dear Sisi Gauradesh and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you
so much.
very much, Prabhu, also Nila Madhava Prabhu, and all the devotees who make this Köln temple a beautiful temple, full of life, full of devotion. I feel very inspired. Thank you very much. Gaura Premanandi.
So, thank you very much, His Grace Ekachakragram Prabhu. So, Sri Sri Ekachakragram Prabhu ki Jai. Prabhuji, yes, thank you for blessing us. But actually, this is the starting. This is not the end. So, Prabhuji, we will invite Prabhuji also in the future, and I want to